D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my week in review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this video, and you can go through and read those yourself, or you can just watch this video where I'm going to read it to you. Always super fun, and I'm going to give you my thoughts. Also, before we get started, I just want to say Merry Christmas, because this is coming to you on Christmas Sunday. I pre-recorded this if you didn't get that. And before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, so now that I got that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started on these 3 stories. So for my first story this week, I'm kind of excited about this one. So it looks like Guillermo del Toro is developing a Frankenstein movie, I believe, for Netflix, which I am super excited about because, first off, I really like Guillermo del Toro. I think he's got this unique style that I really, really like a lot. His movies aren't always my favorite. What was that one where it was like the house, but it was like haunted by the ghost of those women and everything? It had Tom Hiddleston in it, and I personally didn't care for that movie. But at the same time, I liked the aesthetic. Like, I love the way that he does, I just watched his Pinocchio movie on Netflix, which he's doing with this. Very good. I enjoyed it immensely. Very sad. I was all like, this is hardcore sad. But at the same time, I'm all like, he's very talented and I enjoy him very much. All right, why don't we get started on this? As far as Frankenstein goes, the monster, because Frankenstein is the scientist guy. I do like it. There's been so many adaptations at this point in time. I'm very curious to see what Guillermo del Toro can bring to it that'll kind of reinvigorate it, make it exciting. If anybody can do it, I'm pretty sure he can. Okay, so let's get started on this article and everything. It's not very long, but we'll read it anyway. So it says, today, our friends over at What's on Netflix announced that director Guillermo del Toro is hard at work developing a monster adaptation of Frankenstein for the streaming service. The director signed a first-look deal back in 2020 with Netflix, already developed Pinocchio and Cabinet of Curiosities anthology series, which I still have to watch that. I hear some of those are pretty good. Not all of them, but some of them. The report also states that Oscar Isaac is being eyed to star as Dr. Victor Frankenstein himself, which I also think is a very good idea. I like Oscar Isaac. He doesn't always pick the best projects, in my opinion, but when he does pick ones that are good, I'm all like, and even in stuff like Star Wars, I didn't like his character, but I still like Oscar Isaac. It's just they didn't do anything with it. So I feel like if they don't give him stuff to do, like give him, the right kind of stuff in the projects that he's working on, his character usually falls flat. Same with Moon Knight. I was like, oh, come on, I need more than this. So hopefully they give him more. But I think Guillermo del Toro, again, he's so talented that I think Guillermo del Toro can do it. So it says, the director revealed on the Variety Awards podcast earlier this month that he was already working on a secret monster movie. And he said, I'm working on, I don't know if I could do his accent right, but I'm working on a monster movie. I cannot say the title because it may change. I could end up making something else, but right now I'm writing and designing, and we have for the last couple of years. Hopefully it will be next, but anything can happen. Production is expected to begin sometime in June 2023. And I want to talk about one thing. So Guillermo del Toro, I don't know if you knew this, but when I found this out, I thought it was so fascinating. So what he does is he has like a journal, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, journal? Hot guys don't journal. They just let their thoughts fade away. That's what makes them so hot. But Guillermo del Toro is not exactly, a very attractive man, in my opinion, but So he journals, but what he does is he draws in them. And I believe he sold one of his books, like they published it as a coffee table book, and it's just all of his artwork that he does. And you can go online and you can Google it or whatnot. But I love just the way like his mind thinks. I just love, it's very fascinating. He's a fascinating person. I love him. He's great. I think like I said before, I think his aesthetic is usually very pleasing. It's very like dark, but it's very, I don't know. I really, really like it a lot. I don't know how else to describe it, but I do like it, especially, excuse me, his artwork. He's so talented and he's a good writer. I mean, like, even though, like that haunted house movie that he did with the red bricks and everything, the red clay or whatever, I didn't care. Like I said, I didn't care for that movie, but he did make it very special. Anyways, I think this sounds good. I will definitely be watching it. I'll watch anything Guillermo del Toro does. I just got to find the time to do it with that Cabinet of Curiosities. I really want to watch it. I think it's only, 10 episodes. So I'm going to try to watch it. It's just hard for me to get to everything all at once. All right, you guys, that is my first story of the week. So for my second story of the week, and this one I'm excited about because we're just going to look at some pictures of a new DC animated movie, which I'm excited about. I don't know if you guys like DC animation, but I love it. The new stuff is not 100% my favorite after they did that Apocalypse War movie, or Doom War, or War Doom, whatever. The last one where the Flash changed everything and then they changed up their DC animation storylines. But they just recently put out the Super Sons movie, which I loved. I loved it very much. And then the one before that they did, was it Green Lantern? Yeah, they did that one before that. And I also liked that one. I thought it was very good. They did a couple of things that I didn't care for in that movie, but what are you going to do? You can't please everybody and everything. You're not going to like everything in the movie necessarily. So, but I did overall enjoy both of them. And I think that with this animation style that they're going for, like these hard lines, I really like it. Okay. So now I got that away. Why don't we go ahead and read this article? It's from Collider. It says, first Batman, the Doom that came to Gotham images highlight heroes and villains. So there's the first image, and we're going to look at this close up, but I want to read this little snippet here. Sorry, I'm coughing. I don't know how to get rid of it. Anyways, okay. While DC Cinematic Universe is in a wait and see period, their animated universe continues to thrive. 2023 is going to be another big year for DC animation, and one more intriguing offerings that we know of so far is Batman, the Doom that came to Gotham. The Batman story is expected out next spring, with the new year right around the back corner. Warner Brothers and DC have released a handful of new character images that will get any Batman fan excited. And I think these are pretty good images so far. I think they're pretty good. The three images showcase the heroes and villains of this next chapter for The Dark Knight. We have a classic image of Batman, which I'll look up. I'll throw it up in just 1 second after I read this paragraph. Running across Gotham City rooftops, covered by the shadow of night. Bruce Wayne, Harvey Dent, and Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, all dressed up at a party of some kind, and Talia al Ghul reading a mysterious book. The film is based on the 2001 miniseries of the same name by Mike Mignola and Richard Pace and Troy Nixey, which saw an Elseworld Batman fighting crime in the 1920s Gotham City. And this is kind of like Gotham by Gaslight. All right, so let's pull up this first image. So this is the image that's a little bit more crisper. And here he is running across the rooftops. And I love this image because I think that it brings something to the animation world. Like you see the rooftop right here, and then you see him running. And I love this background too, these buildings and stuff like that. Very Victorian, which I also love. I think it looks really, really good. It's like I said before, it's like very much Gotham by Gaslight, and maybe it's a sequel. I don't know. I've never read that comic book. I do know that there are some Cthulhu type creatures in that comic book. And some, I think Etrigan is in there. And I think some other, supernatural characters are in there, but I've never read that comic book. I should read it. There's a lot of classic comic books that I haven't read, and I do regret that. But, there's always time to change when it comes to comic books. You can always catch up and read those. So then let's go down here and read this and everything, and then we'll look at these other two images real quick. And I have this Batman image right here, and that was the first look and everything. So, like that story, the film will be an alternative take on the classic Batman origin story. Bruce returns to Gotham after being away for 2 years and accidentally unleashes an evil supernatural force. The story will have this steampunk Lovecraftian vibe to it that should pique anyone's interest who loves the more horror side to this iconic hero. The film will also have an epic scale to it, with Batman meeting fellow DC heroes like the previously mentioned Green Arrow, Etrigan, and Jim Gordon, while going up against staple villains like Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, Killer Croc, Mr. Freeze, and Two-Face. Since the new images of Two-Face shows him in his pre-villain Harvey Dent form, it looks like we will be going through this tragic transformation in the film. Kirk Landstrom, aka Man-Bat, and Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, will feature in the film as well. It's also going to be exciting to see the Al Ghuls and Mr. Freeze getting the spotlight again. Plus, Killer Croc's one of Batman's most underrated foes. I would agree with that. Killer Croc can be very cool. All right, let's look. Why don't we go ahead and look at, since they got it right here, the Talia al Ghul picture. Here it is right here. I'm gonna pull it up a little bit bigger, I think. So here it is. Well, it's a little bit more crisper, not bigger, but it's a tiny bit bigger. All right. I think this looks pretty good. It's just she's covering her face and you can't see her face. So it's like it's good. But I mean, the animation looks really, really good. Like I love animation, so it's pretty good. But I think that this looks pretty good as far as Talia al Ghul goes. She's got kind of like a She-Ra looking outfit on there with the covering the face and stuff. I wish they wouldn't have covered her face in this image, but again, this image looks pretty good, and I'm still excited for this movie. All right, moving on to this last paragraph and then the last picture. It says, "While there's no exact release." Oh, here we go. Sorry. So two more, and then we'll look at that last picture. Okay. Ever since the Justice League War continuity ended in 2020, the Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, the DC animated film line has been killing it with hits like Superman Man of Tomorrow, which I enjoyed, Justice Society World War II, which was okay, and Batman The Long Halloween. While the Doom that came by Gotham is separate from those films' continuity, their high quality is enough to get excited about this new Batman adventure. The 1920s setting and supernatural vibes are especially going to help separate this Batman film from the character's overcrowded library of content. In terms of the art style, the film appears to have a cel-shaded CGI look to it, not too dissimilar from this year's Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons, which I don't like that cel-shaded CGI as much as I do like the animated stuff, but that movie wasn't that bad. I mean, I did still enjoy it overall. The colors and shadows really pop because of that. And it will be exciting to see what this Batman's costume looks like in the light. In all the images so far have been seen the Dark Knight fittingly drenched in the shadows. However, if you look closely, Batman's has longer boots and collar on his cape, which is similar to how he looks in another popular Elseworld story, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which I did a review of that very first movie that came out, and I'll leave a link into the iCard section. It's pretty, I don't know, you know, close your eyes while watching it. Anyways, while there's no exact release date yet, Batman the Doom that came to Gotham will be releasing sometime in spring of 2023. While DC fans wait for more news on the project, you can view more of the new character images down below. All right, so here's the other one, which I'm going to pull up right here. So this is obviously Green Arrow right here. And then this is Bruce Wayne and Harvey Dent, or Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne. Yeah, this is Harvey Dent. Yeah, and this is Bruce Wayne. And I just have to say, again, I think that this animation looks really, these are drawn very, very well. I think this looks great. I'm very curious to see if Harvey Dent will make his transformation or just stay Harvey Dent the whole time. And I will be interested to see if Oliver Queen becomes Green Arrow and is like phew, 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 and everything. I just think this looks great. And I really enjoy DC animation. So I think overall, I mean, I don't know if you're excited about it, but I am definitely excited about it. So I really hope this comes together and it's a good movie because I am quite excited for it. All right, you guys. So that is my second story of the week. So for my third and final story of the week, now I find this very interesting, you guys. When I first saw it or heard about it, I was like, "Shut up!" And then I had to go and read, about it, and it was very interesting. And I have thoughts because other people have made videos about it, but I want to talk about it, and I'll mention some of the other stuff that other people have said in their videos. But for this one, I just want to talk. I want to read through this article and talk about it. So it says, no false advertising. Ana de Armas' absence from yesterday flick puts trailers in a legal spotlight. And yes, they do. Okay, so it says, yesterday, Universal's troubles suddenly weren't so far away, at least when it comes to Ana de Armas' absence from the 2019 Danny Boyle-directed flick, Yesterday. Universal is correct that the trailers involve some creativity and editorial discretion, but this creativity does not outweigh the commercial nature of a trailer, wrote U.S. District Judge Stephen Wilson in the December 20 ruling on the studio's mainly failed motion to dismiss a potential class action first filed back in January by Paul Michael Rosazal and Connor Wolf. I don't know how that's how you say their names. Doesn't even matter. Anyways, at its core, a trailer is an advertisement designed to sell a movie by providing customers with a preview of the movie. The federal judge went on to say in the ruling, read here. We're not going to read that whole ruling. We'll just talk about it. Trailer version of the 5 million suit, $5 million. It's so ridiculous. In July, well, it's a class action, so not everybody's going to get $1 million or whatever. In July and October of 2021, Maryland-based Wolf and California-based Rosa saw a trailer for the Himson Patel lead rom-com that featured de Armas as a love interest. At $3.99 a piece on Amazon Prime Video, both fans soon after renting the film about a musician who wakes up knowing all the Beatles songs in the world where the Beatles never existed. One catch, in a deep voice, de Armas was nowhere to be found in the picture. The now blonde actress had been cut from Yesterday entirely. I think the audience did not like the fact that his eyes even strayed, screenwriter Richard Curtis told Cinema Blend in 2019 of Patel's Jack Malik, and why de Armas' character Roxanne plus the subplot surrounding her was left on the cutting room floor. I will talk about this in just 1 second. Let me finish this article because we don't have too much to go through. Cutting room floor. That may be the artistic and narrative reason, and that's fair. However, Wolf and Raza felt conned by the presence of de Armas in the Yesterday trailer and didn't like being taken for suckers. Defendants' advertising and promotion of the movie Yesterday is false, misleading, and deceptive. Their January 21st lawsuit declared of Universal. Which I don't think they're lying, but I want to talk about it in just 1 second. Despite the Comcast-owned studio and their Munger, Tolles, and Olson attorneys' best effort to put the lawsuit in the past, Wilson agreed with a lot of where. Okay, so I do, because the rest of it is all not exciting. Okay, so let's talk about this. I won't read the last three paragraphs. You guys can check that out if you want to. So here's the thing. So if you ever saw the trailer for this, he is on James Corden's show, and he's talking to the main character of the Yesterday movie, which was okay. I saw it, but it was okay. It wasn't the greatest movie ever. But anyways, So, excuse me. So Ana de Armas is sitting there, and James Corden is like, "Can you just write a song off the top of your head?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And Ana de Armas is sitting there, so he sings one of the Beatles songs to Ana de Armas. And she, like, you know, of course, falls in love with him because she's like, "Oh my God, he wrote this song for me. I love it," and everything. So then she's not in the movie, okay? And I get where these guys are coming from because they're all like, "I want to see Ana de Armas in this movie," who I love. I love Ana de Armas. She's so freaking hot. It's ridiculous. And she's so talented. I wish they would put her in a lot more stuff. I really do, because she's great. So she wasn't in the movie, so they feel like they were gypped out of $4, which I'm all like, I mean, it's only $4. But I get what they're saying. But here's what happens if this goes through. If they win this case, this sets precedent that every studio going forward can't put anything in their trailers that they aren't going to put 100% in the movie. Because, and a lot of people brought up David Ayer, how in their trailer for the Suicide Squad, they promoted the Joker a bunch, and they put scenes in the trailers that were not in the movie. Of course, they haven't released the Ayer cut. And a lot of people, I heard some rumblings, because one guy said he had drove a couple of hours to watch the movie, and then he was bummed that the Joker was only in like 5 minutes of the movie. And it's the same thing with this one. But I just go, listen, I'm sorry, but you're taking stuff out of a movie. Sometimes, not everything needs to be in it. Sometimes there needs to be some cutting, because some stuff can just be ridiculous. And you're like, "Oh, I wish they would have cut this out of here." I don't know a small piece of me wants them to win, but at the same time, I'm all like, I don't know. Like, this seems like a lot to do about nothing. And then I did see, so I saw that other people were saying that, for instance, I believe it was the Yellow Flash who made a video talking about Aquaman 2 and Amber Heard, because he said if they don't put her in the trailer, then people could sue, because they went to see it because they didn't think she was going to be in the movie. And for that, I go, that's ridiculous. If you don't you can't put everything in the freaking trailer. So if you don't put Amber Heard in the trailer, then you can't sue because you show up and she's in the movie. If you show up to this movie and you expect to not see her in this, that's ridiculous. I just wanted to say that, because we can't start now. We're going to start suing because you didn't put stuff in your trailer, and I came in, it was in there, and I go, that's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. So overall, I say that they shouldn't win, because that just sets precedent. Then all studios now have to be very, very selective about, they can't make a trailer until the movie's finished. And I go, that's crazy. It's crazy. But we'll see where this lands. I mean, $5 million is a lot of money for, us plebs. But I mean, the studio, if they lose, I mean, they could afford it. It's only $5 million for them. All right, you guys, that is my third and final story of this week. Tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? How do you feel about Guillermo del Toro developing a Dr. Frankenstein movie for Netflix starring Oscar Isaac? Are you guys excited about that? Not excited about that? How do you feel about Guillermo del Toro? Do you like his stuff? Do you not like his stuff? Do you think it's too weird, or do you think, like me, his aesthetic is fantastic and unique, and I love it? Tell me, how do you feel about these three images for the first look for Batman the Doom that came to Gotham, this animated movie that they're going to be doing over at DC? Are you excited about it? Are you not excited about it? Have you read that comic book? And if so, what did you think about it? And then finally, tell me, how do you guys feel about this suing this studio over this trailer and false advertisement? Do you think this is a good idea, bad idea? Do you hope they win and show these studios who's boss? I wish it was against Disney. Or do you think, hey, maybe you guys should just back off, because it's really not that big a deal that you didn't see Ana de Armas in this very mediocre movie? Or are you like, no, we need to stick it to these studios hardcore. They need to know who's boss, and it's us. But yeah. All right, you guys, tell me what you guys think about that. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go to that like button. I won't mind. If you're my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next year, because this is my last week in review of the year. My next one will be a year in review. But have a Merry Christmas. And if you join me on Christmas Day, I hope it went well for you. I hope it's going well for you and everything. And yeah, I will see you guys on my next week in review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my Week in Review.